2 days of unrelenting rainfall causing rivers of mud and rock to come crashing down on Highway 7, stranding hundreds of people between two mudslides. The military called in to rescue many of them, but still more were trapped closer to hope. And tonight in Abbotsford, this is the scene at Watcombe Road and North Parallel Road. Search and rescue crews using small boats to rescue people stranded by floodwaters in the Sumas area. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We'll have the latest on the rescue effort in just a moment, but we begin with breaking news. High winds creating an incredibly dangerous situation on the water. A barge has come loose in English Bay, and there are concerns it could slam into the Burrard Street Bridge overnight. Police have closed the bridge as a precaution. CTV's Mary Cranston joins us live from English Bay. And Mary, we've seen sailboats wash up there in storms before, but nothing like this.
No, certainly not, Nafisa. If there was any indication of how strong the winds were earlier today, that is your answer right there. This barge has been parked up against the seawall at Sunset Beach for almost 10 hours now, prompting police to close the Burrard Street Bridge as a precaution. Police will be diverting traffic throughout the night. This is just a precaution in case the barge happens to start floating again like it did earlier today. Take a look at this video. The barge getting awfully close for comfort. And this is where it ended up, grounded against rocks at Sunset Beach, choppy waves crashing up against the seawall, and no doubt catching a lot of people off guard.
Well, I live in Beach Towers there, and I was just working from home, and then I saw this massive thing just coming into my balcony, well, view, and I looked out, and it's really lucky because there's like two boats that were docked there. So I came out, I got my video, and I'm filming it, and it just missed one of the boats. And then I'm like, that's going to come right up on shore, and it did. It's a good thing that it's empty because I could see down from above that it's just empty in there. So I'm not sure where it came from, but it could have been a lot worse than it ended up here.
Now, the Coast Guard says this barge is the owner's responsibility to come and retrieve it. So hopefully that will be tomorrow. And there are crews at Kitsilano base that have been closely watching the situation. Nafisa?
All right, Mary, that barge is empty now, but are there any concerns about what it was loaded with?
The Coast Guard says there are no hydrocarbons and there is no threat to pollution. But earlier, the barge was actually carrying wood chips, but it is now empty. Nafisa?
All right. Thank you, Mary. Meanwhile, hundreds of people have been rescued by helicopter after spending several hours trapped between two landslides on Lougheed Highway. Many more, though, having to wait much longer to be rescued. CTV's David Molko is near Agassiz, where some of those people were flown to by helicopter.
Absolutely incredible stories of survival here in Agassiz into the east, where multiple landslides cut off the road, trapped nearly 300 people, including 50 children, overnight Sunday into Monday. We watched all day as cormorant choppers, the Canadian military, flying back and forth, pulling 20 people out at a time who had to spend the night in their cars, including Robert Doolin, his niece Cassandra Harder. They were headed from Merritt back to Vancouver when they got stuck, and they didn't know if and when they'd make it out.
We were heading at about 65 kilometers an hour, and sorry.
There was three cars in front of us.
All of a sudden, we saw brake lights. There was shaking lines, and all of a sudden the road was wiped out. We slammed on the brakes. Two cars in front of us turned around and went back, and something just told me that we got to go forward and see if there's somebody in there. And there was.
So where you can see right here on the right-hand side is where Uncle Bob and I just stopped, right by the tree, right there to the left of the Meridian, where we found a bunch of people. Yeah, a little hard seeing in the daytime. It's a lot.
We're grateful to be safe, but we're hoping that everybody got out.
That's just it. My heart, I feel like there's so many more people under there. It's hard because no one saw. And it's like to see that last night and then go there this morning and still see nothing but mud covering it. It's hard. There's just hope.
They've just got to hope, because what else is there? And today, a truly impressive team effort, the collaboration between everybody out there. But authorities, including the spokesperson for Canada Task Force 1, that specialized urban rescue task force that's been involved in this, have been pretty blunt. They don't know if other people are still out there, swept off the road, trapped in their vehicles, trapped in the mud, in the trees, and the rocks. And they want to reassure everybody out there that come first light, first thing in the morning, they'll be flying again. They'll be surveilling from above, looking for signs of life. If you're out there, they say, do not lose hope. This effort far from over. David Molko, CTV News, Agassiz.
A local state of emergency has been declared in Abbotsford, where Highway 1 is underwater in the Whatcom area. Police have shut down the highway, and several people have been rescued from the floodwaters. There's also been a train derailment because a section of track in the Fraser Valley has washed away. Our Sinjin Alexander joins us live. And Sinj, let's start with the situation on Highway 1.
Okay, and Nafisa, we're seeing that the impact really is widespread. It really is right across the province, and yes, the roads are a perfect example. Fine in some areas, totally passable, and then you come to this. Is it any wonder the road is closed? Just the very tips of cars peering through. Water so deep, Good Samaritans and pickups were needed to rescue the stranded. This is the Sumas River. It just spilled over its banks, seeping into people's homes and forcing Highway 1 to shut down in Abbotsford. Over on Vancouver Island, waves on the Malahat. The highway actually breaking apart in some areas. It too deemed unsafe for travel. The devastation of endless pounding rain is widespread. The site of what was once a parking lot in Delta. To the interior, where some images take your breath away. Here a CN rail train is off its tracks, pushed aside by mudslides and washouts. And the wind.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, that's lawn chairs.
Furniture blown clear off high-rise patios. Other possessions impossible to catch. And as ships of all sizes are swept to the shore,
Don't touch it.
there just aren't enough people to rescue everything.
And Sinjin, a very busy day for BC Hydro. What is the latest on outages?
Yeah, we've been warned it's going to be a very long night for a lot of people. All the crews are out, we're told, but you saw the devastation and all the stories beforehand, so it will take some time to get everyone back up. And I'm just looking at the numbers just now, roughly 40,000 across the province without power, really everywhere. Metro Vancouver, Vancouver Island, Sunshine Coast, the Okanagan. Nafisa.
All right, Sinjin, thank you. For a second day in a row, schools will be closed in Abbotsford tomorrow as that state of emergency remains in effect. Major evacuations were ordered in two parts of the city following the steady downpour. CTV's Shannon Patterson has that part of the story.
The deluge began on Sunday morning, and it didn't let up.
It started very fast, like it happened so quick. The rain was just coming down so bad.
By nightfall, rivers and creeks had overflowed into Abbotsford streets.
Basically, what we're doing is sandbagging property by property and just moving along Armstrong Avenue, keeping the water out of the houses as best we can.
Sunup Monday, the damage was clear. Farmers' fields had transformed into lakes.
This is a serious event. I've lived here for 68 years. I've not seen this kind of rainfall in those 68 years.
Abbotsford's a really big city, so there's diverse problems around. So there's in the hilly areas, there's mudslides. In the low-lying areas, there's flooding, and there's washing out of roads.
The Abbotsford Rec Centre has opened for hundreds of residents impacted by evacuation orders and alerts.
So far, we've ESS volunteers have serviced approximately 61 families have come through to get registered and to get placed in hotels.
As rain kept falling, residents banded together to keep water out of their homes.
The city was overwhelmed, and understandably so was fire. And so they came by, they dumped the stuff, gave us bags, and we started to build the berm, and then the gravel trucks came in to reinforce it.
There's only one other city worker with us at the time, so we just had to go at it with just the neighbors.
Knock on neighbors' doors, bring shovels, and try to save the street.
Police blocked flooded streets, but that didn't stop everyone.
We've had a few incidents where people have gone around barricades, have become trapped, on the sides of roads with flooding, or their vehicles have become bogged down.
While the rains have eased and it may appear the worst is behind us,
it's not over. There's going to be at least another 24 hours plus where we're going to be managing, the flooded roads and traffic. So if you do not have to travel tomorrow, you do not have to commute or go into work, you can work from home, please do that.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Abbotsford.